All right, this is the top 7 best neighborhoods to live in Surrey, BC. I'm that Agent Kelly. I post primarily about Vancouver suburbs, what's happening in the market, the best areas to live in, maybe which areas you shouldn't live in. So if you're moving here or you're thinking about moving here, feel free to reach out, give me a call. I have people reaching out all the time through my social media platforms, and I don't bite. So if you want to book a call with me, just scroll down into the description, click on the link, and book a call right into my calendar, and we can have a chat. I post every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, so if you get any value or entertainment from these videos, please do thumbs up and subscribe for the YouTube algorithm. And stick around to the end of the video where I'm going to share my favorite neighborhood in Surrey. I grew up in Surrey. I lived there for about 22 years before I eventually moved out to Abbotsford, which is a little bit further from downtown Vancouver, but I do know a lot about Surrey growing up and have spent most of my life there. So without further ado, let's get into this video. All right, so my first pick for one of the best neighborhoods in Surrey is gonna have to be Cloverdale. So Cloverdale is located on the southwest-ish side of Surrey, comprised of mostly residential detached homes, townhomes, but there is some condos, not as many condos, mostly detached and townhomes. A lot of detached homes built in the 70s on 7,000 square foot lots and stuff like that, but there is a lot of new detached homes as well that are situated on 4,000 square foot lots, that are 2,500 square foot homes, 3,000 square foot homes, and stuff like that. Growing up, I used to play a lot of soccer in Cloverdale because they have that massive Cloverdale Athletic Park located on 168 and 64th. I absolutely love Cloverdale, especially as a pick for, a starter detached home. You can get a detached home there for around $1 million. I know that sounds like $1 million, but that is cheap comparatively if you're looking anywhere else in Surrey or anywhere west of Surrey. That $1 million is pretty damn cheap for a detached house. Right in the center of Cloverdale, you have Cloverdale's old downtown. So Cloverdale used to kind of be a cowboy town way back in the day, so you'll see it's got kind of like an old country western feel in old downtown Cloverdale. So super interesting area of Surrey. I really like Cloverdale. That's my #1 pick. So number 2, we have Fleetwood, and I lived in Fleetwood for pretty much my entire life before moving to Abbotsford. Maybe 19 years I think I lived in Fleetwood for. Went to high school at North Surrey, which is just down the street from Fleetwood. Fleetwood is pretty much located dead center of Surrey, and they're actually going to be running the SkyTrain from Surrey Central through Fleetwood and into Langley. Mix of everything, detached townhomes. However, there isn't a lot of condos. It's mostly detached and townhomes. Again, kind of like Cloverdale. It's a little bit more dense than Cloverdale. There's a lot more commercial, I would say. Places to eat, stuff like that, bars. And also has a lot of parks and schools and outdoor things to do, kind of stuff like that. This area is actually super multicultural as well. Like people from all walks of life live in Fleetwood. South Asian, Korean, Vietnamese, categorized white people, and then Arabic people, Middle Eastern, whatever it may be. Very, very multicultural area Fleetwood is, I would say. Number 3, Fraser Heights. Fraser Heights is the north central side of Surrey, I guess we'll call it. This area is comprised of mostly higher end homes. It's kind of a newer area. I think there is a little bit of townhomes, but I don't think there's any condos, and it's mostly homes built, post 1990s, so it is a bit of a newer area. There isn't a whole lot of commercial. There's basically one little strip mall with like a Tim Hortons, a grocery store, and stuff like that, but outside of that, there really isn't any other commercial. It's mostly just higher end detached homes, but because of that, it is a nice area. I would say there's not as much crime going on there. Everybody mows their lawn. Just an overall nice place to live. Number 4, subscribe and like this video for the YouTube algorithm. But no, number 4 is actually gonna be Clayton Heights. So I lived in Clayton Heights as well for about 2 years, and I actually really enjoyed it there. A lot of people complain about congestion and there's not a lot of parking, and the reason being is that this area is a newer area. They built it after like 2000, but it's a lot of row homes. 3,000 square foot homes on 4,000 square foot lots. These homes have a basement suite and a coach home. So what was happening for a while was people were renting out the coach home and the basement suite, and because there was only one garage and there was no driveway for any of these homes, everyone parked on the street in Clayton, the area got so congested with everybody renting out 2 suites within these homes. But however, the city did eventually crack crack down on this, so the parking situation I would think is probably a little bit better there. I personally never had a problem with parking. Like, I'm the kind of person where, like, hey, if I don't get my parking spot right in front of the house, like, I really don't care. Like, I'll just park down the street and walk an extra 3 minutes into my house. But obviously a lot of people didn't like that about Clayton. Very active area. It's, you know, a lot of young families, a lot of young couples with new I guess younger kids, babies, that kind of thing, taking their kids to the playground. Just kind of a fun, like, I guess, energetic area to be in. They actually have some nightlife in this town. So there's a bar called the Dublin, located pretty much right in the center of Clayton. And that bar actually gets pretty wild after, like, you know, 8 p.m., 9 p.m. There is some nightlife within that bar, so pretty sweet. If you live in Clayton, you can literally walk to the Dublin, get smashed or whatever it is you guys like to do. I personally don't drink, if you didn't know, but if you'd like to go to the Dublin and get smashed, you could totally do that and walk there and not even have to pay for a cab if you lived in Clayton. Number 5, Sullivan Station. So this area is located, I'd like to say the center of it is, you know, 152 and 64th, or 152 and Highway 10. It's the south central part of Surrey. So I actually went to high school at Sullivan Station as well for about 1 year. So this area is mostly newer, and what I mean by newer is it's homes like post 1990s or like post like 1980. Like, there's not a lot of like split level 70s homes or anything like that, or homes built in the 50s and 60s. It's mostly like 1990s, early 2000s. Townhomes, not a lot of condos, if any. It's mostly just newer townhomes, and then, you know, nice luxury homes built after like the 90s. Like, there's areas where the homes are just massive, you know, custom built and very have a lot of character, those kind of homes. But lots of good schools, parks, and you're a 15-minute drive to White Rock. So, you know, in the summertime you want to go to the beach, boom, you're there in 15 minutes. So I really like this area. In number 6, Whalley. Now this is a controversial pick, and the reason why is because 6-7 years ago, or even when I was in high school 10 years ago, this area was the armpit of Surrey. Nobody liked Whalley. It was a really beaten down, rough area filled with homeless, crime, pretty much everything you don't want in a place where you would actually choose to live. But today, the city has put a lot of resources, a lot of effort, and a lot of money into gentrifying this area. And if you look at the city's 20-year plan, the OCP for this area, they intend to blow this area up. Tons and tons of high-rises, commercial buildings, whatever it may be, and I would speculate that this area is going to basically be like a second downtown to downtown Vancouver, except a lot more central. And that's basically the reason why I picked Whalley, because it has a very, very bright future, and it would be like buying into a downtown Vancouver before it becomes downtown Vancouver. You know, buy a condo, hold it for 20 years, that area is going to be massive in the next 2 decades. But it's funny, I just remember 10 years ago, like, everyone hated Whalley. And then suddenly in the last couple years, I remember they were building like the first 2 high rises there like 7 years ago. But I remember like in the last couple years now, everybody suddenly wants to buy and invest in Whalley, and I expect that to continue going forward. That area has a really bright future, so that's why I picked Whalley. Today, it's still not the best area, to be honest with you, but it will be in the next 7-8 years, so that's why I picked Whalley. And number 7, my personal favorite that I cannot afford to live in right now, Morgan Creek. So I love South Surrey as a whole. I think you can't go wrong with most neighborhoods in South Surrey. However, they are kind of located a bit out of the way. Like, you can't get to Highway 1, you have to go Highway 99 and go up and past Richmond and Ladner and stuff like that if you wanted to get to Vancouver. In terms of like accessibility to the rest of the lower mainland, it's not that great, but I love South Surrey. It's beautiful there. It's a little bit sunnier there than most other parts of Surrey because you're close to the water, and the water pushes the clouds out north, right? You're located on the most, obviously, South Surrey, the most south part of Surrey, but Morgan Creek is a very prestigious, you know, mansions, rich people playing tennis, loving golf kind of area, WASP-like people, right? But it is a beautiful neighborhood, beautiful golf courses, magnificent, beautiful homes, and that's where I would like to live at some point in my life, is Morgan Creek. So that's why I picked Morgan Creek. That's probably the nicest area in Surrey that I would have to say. So anyways, there's my 7 best neighborhoods for Surrey. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please comment, like, subscribe, and we will see you on the next video.